The idea that true transformation begins with the mind is indeed one of the most fundamental principles of personal growth and change. Let us explore this concept in depth. The mind as the foundation of all change. The mind is the architect of our reality. When we speak of transformation beginning in the mind, we are acknowledging that our thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns are the invisible forces that shape every aspect of our lives. Before we see changes in our relationships, careers, health, or circumstances, there must first be a shift in our internal landscape, the cognitive revolution within. True transformation starts with what we might call a cognitive revolution, a fundamental shift in how we perceive ourselves, our capabilities, and our relationship with the world around us. This isn't merely about positive thinking or wishful hoping. It's about rewiring the very neural pathways that have been carved by years of habitual thought patterns, limiting beliefs, and unconscious programming. When we begin to question our assumptions about what's possible, when we challenge the internal narratives that have kept us small, and when we consciously choose new ways of thinking, we initiate a cascade of changes that ripple outward into every area of our lives. The mind, in essence, becomes both the laboratory and the catalyst for transformation, the ripple effect of mental transformation. Once the mind undergoes genuine transformation, other areas of life naturally follow suit, as you so eloquently put it. This happens because our external world is largely a reflection of our internal world. Our thoughts influence our emotions, which drive our behaviors, which create our results, which shape our circumstances. Consider how this plays out practically. When someone transforms their mindset from scarcity to abundance, they begin to notice opportunities they previously overlooked. Their behavior shifts, they take more calculated risks, invest in themselves, and approach challenges with curiosity rather than fear. These behavioral changes lead to different outcomes, which reinforce the new mindset, creating a positive feedback loop. Physical health and mental transformation. The mind-body connection provides perhaps the most tangible example of how mental transformation affects other areas. When we shift from stress-based thinking to more peaceful, centered mental states, our bodies respond accordingly. Stress hormones decrease, immune function improves, sleep quality enhances, and energy levels rise. The transformation that began in the mind manifests as improved physical health, vitality, and overall well-being. Relationships and social dynamics. Mental transformation profoundly impacts our relationships. When we change how we think about ourselves, developing greater self-compassion, confidence, or emotional intelligence, we naturally show up differently in our interactions with others. We might set healthier boundaries, communicate more effectively, or attract different types of people into our lives. The transformation in our minds creates a shift in our relational dynamics that others can sense and respond to. Professional and creative expression. In the realm of work and creativity, mental transformation often precedes breakthrough achievements. When someone shifts from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, they become more willing to take on challenges, learn from failures, and persist through difficulties. This mental shift often leads to enhanced performance, career advancement, or the courage to pursue entirely new professional paths. The spiritual dimension. Many people find that mental transformation opens doorways to spiritual growth and deeper meaning. As limiting beliefs dissolve and awareness expands, individuals often experience a greater sense of connection to themselves, to others, and to something larger than themselves. This spiritual awakening, which begins in the mind, can transform one's entire approach to life, relationships, and purpose. The challenge of sustained mental change. While the principle that transformation begins in the mind is powerful, it's important to acknowledge that changing deeply ingrained mental patterns is often the most challenging aspect of personal growth. Our minds are creatures of habit, and they tend to revert to familiar patterns even when those patterns no longer serve us. This is why sustained mental transformation requires consistent practice, patience, and often support from others. It involves developing new mental habits through meditation, mindfulness, journaling, therapy, coaching, or other practices that help us become more aware of our thoughts and consciously direct them toward more empowering patterns. The compound effect of mental transformation. What makes mental transformation so powerful is its compound effect. Small shifts in thinking, when maintained consistently over time, create exponential changes in life outcomes. A slight adjustment in how we perceive challenges, for instance, can lead to dramatically different responses to adversity, which over time creates entirely different life trajectories. Practical implementation. To harness this principle, one must become an active participant in their own mental transformation. This involves regularly examining our thoughts, questioning limiting beliefs, visualizing desired outcomes, and consciously choosing thoughts that align with who we want to become rather than who we've been. In conclusion, this insight captures a universal truth about human potential and change. The mind is indeed the starting point for all meaningful transformation. When we recognize this and commit to the inner work of transforming our thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns, we set in motion a powerful process that naturally extends into every area of our lives. The beauty of this principle is that it places the power of transformation squarely in our own hands, or rather, in our own minds. True transformation is an inside-out process, and it all begins with the decision to think differently about ourselves and our possibilities. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated for more inspiring content. You can also leave a comment and share the video so that we could reach and inspire more people. Thank you, and to God be all the glory.